Hello friends, happy Monday. Hope you guys are having a fabulous Monday so far. As promised, I am back for Mindset Monday live. I almost didn't make it. I am short on time because I have a call starting here shortly, but I wanted to jump in here and make sure I share this quick tip because it's going to be a game changer for so many of you. If you're here, please say hello. Nicole is here. Hello. So every Monday I come on live and share a mindset tip. And today's tip is specifically for you if and when you just don't know blank, right? Fill in the blank. You don't know how, you don't know when, you don't know where, you don't know if, right? And I hear this quite often when I'm talking to people and they say, I don't know how this thing is going to work out. I don't know how I would ever be able to blank, right? Like in their mind, they can't imagine a scenario where they would be able to do that thing. Or there's a specific answer you're looking for. I recently used this tip with a client who was looking for a very specific house. And she had very specific parameters. Hey, Lisa, she wasn't sure how this was going to work out. She didn't know how she was going to do it. She didn't know when she was going to do it. She didn't know if it was even possible, right? And so what happens really frequently for a lot of people is that they just don't know this answer, right? So there's something that they don't know that they kind of feel stuck with, right? And I'm going to give you the tip in just a second. But this also worked with a client of mine who was, she was a writer and she was working on her screenplays. And she had these sort of, I don't know if they were creative blocks or moments where she had a really good idea, but she just didn't know where it was going. She didn't know what her writing process was in order to get to that place, right? And so she had like characters that she didn't know their names, or she had circumstances that she didn't know. Now, here's what we typically do when we don't know. We sit and try to figure it out. We sit and focus on the thing that we don't know. We try to brainstorm, we try to muster up a name, we try to come up with a solution, and 9 times out of 10, it just makes it that much harder, right? We create frustration and resistance, and we get even more stuck in this I don't know. So your tip is to do this, okay? For whatever you don't know, for whatever you haven't figured out, for whatever thing you feel like is in your way and you feel stuck with because you haven't like figured out the next thing, you're going to simply do this mind trick, okay? And you can do it in a variety of ways. One way to do this is to simply make a list, like take a piece of paper and write down the things that you just don't know. You don't know where your home's gonna come from. You don't know where the money's gonna come from to pay for X, Y, and Z, right? Maybe like this creative client that I had, you don't know the name or the plot or whatever thing you're looking for. You write that down. Whatever it is that you don't know or you don't have the answer for, I want you to write it down and then basically put it on a piece of paper and tuck it away somewhere. Now the challenge is going to be you letting go of that thought so that you're not constantly trying to figure out this thing that is in your mind unfigure-outable, right? The thing that you can't quite figure out. You're going to basically hold space for the solution to come in. And I tell you that this works every single time. Anytime I am stuck on trying to figure out like a program name, what's the next step, like what do I need to do to hit this goal? If I don't know what that is, I simply create a space. I actually do it in my mind. I just go, okay, what would it take for me to blank? What would it take for me to figure out the plot for this or figure out the program name? What would it take for me to hit this goal? Now, I don't have to answer that question. It's not my job. That's not actually the point of this. The point is to create a placeholder so the question exists in your mind or on a piece of paper, and then you let it go and you move on with your life. And the reason you're letting it go is because you're trusting and you're basically delegating to the universe, God, whoever you believe in, and just set it aside. I don't know the answer to this, and this, so I'm going to take this, put it in this little, like, shelf it for a little bit, and then I'm gonna move on with my life. And every single time, without fail, this works with every client I've ever given the assignment to. It works for myself in my business and personal life. Every single time, the answer will just appear. And what I mean by that is it may not happen instantly, but when you're not thinking about it, when you're not focusing on it, when you're not trying to figure it out, the thought comes. The name for that program, always for me, I'll be driving down the road and the program name comes to me, right? You'll get a phone call and someone will say, hey, have you thought about this? The answer comes, not because you're so focused on the problem, the question, the thing you don't have, but because you've created a placeholder. I have this question, I trust that it's going to be answered, and you let it go. What happens with this, and the reason that this works, right, and there's actually two reasons, but we'll talk about the mind piece of it, is because your mind operates in congruence, right? So it cannot have a question that goes unanswered. It's going to seek to find the answer to it, but it doesn't work when you're sitting down trying to figure it out, right? This isn't a math problem that if you focus hard enough, you'll figure it out. Most of the time, if you focus hard enough on the problem, life problems, questions that you have, the problem gets bigger. Okay, so I want you to give this a try. And again, you can write it on a piece of paper. Some clients will write it like in a notebook. They put it away and then they move on. And every time the thought comes that says, how do I do X, Y, and Z? What's the answer to this? You basically soothe it and go, I don't know, but it'll come some way, right? I'll figure it out. The answer will come. I don't have to worry about that right now. And that's part of the process as well. So write it down on a piece of paper, keep a notebook if that works for you. For me, again, I just kind of keep it in the back of my mind. Sometimes I will actually write it in my journal, like things that I need answers to or things that I'm not sure of, I'll just write it down and then I'll let it go. And generally, it happens very quickly, depending on the situation and how long I felt stuck on it, right? It will happen within a couple of days, sometimes a week, and it shows up. I have a client who found a house this way, who bought a house this way, okay? So these things work. So I want to know from you, if you're watching this live or on the replay, what's one thing you don't quite know? What's something that you're gonna put on your list and create space for the answer to come in? You can go ahead and type it in the comments. And if it's personal and you don't want to type it, that's fine. Write it on a piece of paper or tuck it in the back of your mind and just go, all right, I'm open to receive this question, this referral. Maybe you have, like you're trying to find the right, I don't know, lawyer, accountant, coach, whatever, and you're just tucking it in the back of your mind. Show me the way, I'm open to receive that, and then let it go. Trust that that answer is coming, okay? The other thing that I want to remind you is the reason that the problem doesn't work, focusing in on the problem doesn't work, is because it creates more of the energy of the problem, right? And it may not be a problem, it may just be a question. And when you're focused on this thing that feels unsolvable, you're just like empowering the problem. And that's why worry doesn't work. That's why anxiety doesn't help. That's why when we sit and we're trying to figure out how we're going to do X, Y, and Z, it typically doesn't, amount to the solution that we actually want. Okay? So that is my mindset tip for you today. Hopefully it's helpful for you. Feel free to send me a message or post a comment below and let me know, that you tried it, what you're trying this with, when it works, that kind of thing. I promise this is one of those things that you definitely want to put into practice and try yourself, okay? The other thing I want to remind you of is if you have been thinking about coaching, today is the last day to get information and to potentially get signed up for my January Jumpstart 2022 program. I have one spot left. If you are interested, now is the time to get the information. You can post a comment below and say, I'm interested, and I'll send the details to you. This is a shorter one-on-one program, but it is designed to help you, jumpstart the new year with your goals, your intentions, whatever it is that you want to create. It's really to help you build that foundation to be successful and to create the kind of year that you want. So if you're curious about that, if you want to see what that's about, feel free to post a comment below, send me a message, and I'll get the details sent to you. If you're curious about what it's like to work with a coach, you can also send me a message, and I can send you a link and we can chat about that, okay? So I hope this is helpful. Use the tip, make sure that you give it a try. And if you love this mindset tip, make sure you hop on over to my YouTube channel. I have tons, I have a whole slew of mindset videos that walk you through tons of tips that you can use. Make sure you subscribe over there so you don't miss a thing, okay? Lisa says, to tap into my creativity feels like it's on the back burner. Good. So if you're looking for actual ideas for your creativity, this is a really good tool to use. If you're looking for time to tap into your creativity, also a very good exercise to use. What would it take for me to have more time for my creativity? Or what would it look like? What does my creativity look like right now? Like what ideas, you know? And then kind of putting that on the back burner, trusting that the answer is going to come, and then just go about your merry way. Go do what you would normally do. That's it. You don't have to do anything extra. Okay? Awesome. Well, I have to get ready for my call. I hope this is helpful. If you are watching this and you have questions, feel free to post a comment below. If you want more information like this, as I mentioned, jump on over to YouTube. And I would love for you to join my email list as well. I've got lots of really great information over there that I email couple times a week, so feel free to join that, okay? Hope you guys have a great Monday. I will be back on Thursday with another live video around this time, so please make sure you join me then, and I will chat with you soon. Bye, guys.